What's up and welcome to another Mograph Mocast. I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt. Joining us this week from Move.ai, Brian Bosché.
Thanks for having me, guys. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
We got a really great show today. As you can see, we got a new format here. We're bringing you more in 24. That's going to be our motto for the show. We're changing things up a bit. I know most of our audience is in audio. We're trying to go to video a bit. So hopefully all the new fangled tech and stuff that I got going is going to work okay. I got a massive amount of stream decks in front of me and things, and I hope I programmed it right. But
stress level's a little bit higher this episode.
A little bit. I think we'll get the hang of it as we go through the year, but changing things up. We're going to bring you design and Mograph stuff as usual, but we're also bringing in more tech talk, kind of like the good old days. We used to nerd out about video cards and things a little more, and we kind of went that artist route, and we're trying to mix it up. We're going to bring stuff to you that might interest you as a designer, even if it's not 100% design. It might be tech or computers or whatever. Of course, there's VR, AR, XR, AI, Unreal, Blender, gaming, all that kind of stuff. But still,
all the things.
Yeah, but there's still the perspective of the artist.
The joy of being a generalist.
That's right. Yeah, so we're going to try it out. Let us know what you think. We're going to do some more short-form content as well online, like TikTok and Instagram and things. We're also going to have show clips, and it's going to be fun. So, yeah. If you haven't noticed, our sponsor is Otoy, and one of the reasons that we're able to provide this kind of content is our sponsor Otoy. That's Mograph's universal sponsor. You know who they are, the makers of Octane Render and the Render Network. Great friend of ours, Jules, who I believe had a baby. I mean, I'm sure by now. We're going to have him on the show pretty soon. We haven't worked it out. I haven't seen much from Jules at all. I'm sure he's like...
he's busy.
Yeah.
You know how it is.
Yeah, with a new kid. So we're going to make sure we work that out because we want to talk about some of the new stuff coming up with Otoy, with Octane Render, with the Render Network, all of that. So Octane Render and the Render Network together, you can make beautiful renders and then you can render them quickly. Just go to otoy.com. Make sure that you thank them for helping to make our show possible. They're huge help. So before we go to the fun Move.ai stuff, we are going to do a new version now of our week wrap-up. We used to do the week wrap-up and talk about things like Camp Mograph and stuff, and we're kind of rebranding it a little bit into something we call headlines. So the first thing that we're going to talk about today is design and economics in 2024, because I think 2023 was kind of a tough year for everybody, and I'm hoping that 2024 is going to be better. We got the last year and a half, we've had some things get a little bit better in the economy. We've got gas going down, unemployment below 4%. We got inflation trending back down, hopefully more.
Yeah,
and
I've also seen the mortgage rates go down significantly, which is pretty nice. Not that I ever plan on getting rid of my 2.25% APR.
Right.
But yeah.
Yeah, I'm never changing this house, man. Yeah, COVID house.
Right?
Yeah, and consumer confidence is back up in December. And here's the thing. We had a big scare last year, right? Especially the beginning of the year. I remember, there's going to be a recession. Everything's going to crash. All of this is going to happen. So what did people do? They went to tight budgets, of course.
Yeah.
Right? It was really hard last year. We still managed to get great sponsors and things, but it was tight, and you could tell.
Yeah.
And
I think a
too.
lot of people were worried because there were so many tech companies like doing massive layoffs. You had these big tech companies doing layoffs. So it's like... I kind of see that as like people worry because that's the first line of layoffs, you know, and then you'll see if people follow. If people don't follow, I mean, look at Facebook stock price from the beginning of last year all the way up to today. It's like quadrupled. You know, he's made all the money he lost trying to build the metaverse.
Well, and whatever went down with, there was some weird thing that happened. Remember, Facebook, like everything crashed out. And people couldn't even get in the doors,
Yeah. So,
but it never happened. We never had the actual crash, and that's where I'm a little bit hopeful, is that it was a scare, which led to tight budgets, which went to it trickled down, right? And all of a sudden, designers, especially contractors, are scared because they're like, where is everybody? My client hasn't called me in 6 months, and then we usually do stuff all the time, and I can't get any new clients. So. I think there's a lot of difference between what we're hearing versus what economic statistics are saying. And it might be just that there's a delay. So again, more in 24. We're all hoping for more in 24. Hoping there's a design industry recovery, economic growth, with like some of these creative innovations like AI tools. There's so much coming down the pipe that I think not only will it get better, but I think there's going to be more opportunities in other areas similar. And that's why we're covering some of this too. I think that people in our industry are maybe thinking about branching out a little bit, So we'll keep an eye on those trends. What we are going to do, though, we're going to start doing a poll every week. And we're going to start this week. You can see our sample one here. We already started going on it. And the poll is, do you think the economy will be better for designers in 2024? Now, if you're listening on the audio podcast, We are eventually going to have this set up where you can easily go to a URL. If you're watching right now, you can scan the QR code, and what we're going to do is check back in on the polls.
If you refresh it, you'll see. There's another. Let's.
Oh, did you add one already?
I did.
Yeah, we'll check back in on it through like another point in the show. But every week we're going to check in on the poll before the headlines, and we'll say last week, whatever, right? Let me see if I refresh it right here. It didn't refresh yet. Well, didn't you do it the other day? I think it probably just counted you again.
So maybe it's seeing my IP address.
Yeah. So scan that QR code there. We'll come back to that, and we'll follow up on it. Eventually, what I would like to do is do like a thing that says, mograph.com/poll, and it will go to the latest one or something like that, Dryzen says hashtag more in 24. That's what I'm talking about. We got to get this going. This is going to be our thing. We'll keep an eye on it. And the next thing we were going to talk about is a little something that you've been working on here recently, which is NES Maker.
Yeah, so I know I've talked a lot about the video game that I'm making, but I never really talked about the program that I use. So what's really nice, I'm really big into retro gaming. I found my wife's old NES. I hooked it up, and I bought an old, or I technically traded, some render tokens for an old CRT PVM monitor, and so I've been playing on that, and I absolutely fell in love with it. And watching people play retro gaming and seeing the history of retro gaming and speed running and stuff, I got really big into it. And so I wanted to look into how it was to create a game, and so I discovered NES Maker and started just doing all the tutorials, just going through the tutorials, and I found it to be surprisingly easy to get into it. So NES Maker is basically a GUI-based, program that allows you to build your levels and change your inputs and stuff like that. And you can do it all GUI-based, and it's really neat. So I picked up this program. So this is me. This is a video of me actually testing the game for the first time, and it's actually playing on original NES hardware. It was such a huge point of pride, being able to actually get it working. But you don't realize the limitations that come with building an NES game. First of all, it's built in assembly. That I'm not sure anyone actually uses assembly nowadays, but so you're actually coding all the stuff to assembly if you do actually go into the code, which you can. But you're actually building everything through I bought a program called Pixaki for the iPad, which allows me to create all the sprites and everything that you would build for the game. And then getting into it, you don't realize how actually limiting it is. For the background colors, you're limited to 12 total colors out of, or 4 palettes of 3 colors plus a transparency out of 56 colors total, so you can only use 12 colors for the backgrounds and 12 colors for all your monsters and your character sprites and all your upgrades and coins and whatever. It's so incredibly limiting, but it allows you to you have to learn to get creative with it.
Right.
And
It
it's really
leads
really
to creativity.
Cool.
Or you have to
what's
figure
great
it out.
Is, if you go back and you watch some of these YouTube videos that I've seen where it's these are some of the best designed NES games ever, and you're looking at them and you're like, holy cow, it's amazing what people were able to create with such incredible limitations. And so this, for example, it's so cool because you're able to map the buttons what you want to happen based off of the button input. So if you want to do the Konami code, you could do that as well, and the entire thing is built, let's see, you've got an overworld and underworld, so you're building each of the individual levels to go along, and you can build different styles. You can build from top down, or what they call a Metrovania, or Metrovania. Yeah, it's like
Castlevania?
Metroid and Castlevania together. Yeah, Metrovania. Yeah, to where you can like go through all the different levels, and it's just one big thing, and it's really really cool. So big shout out to the people over at NES Maker because they're doing some incredible work. I would love to get them on the show
Yeah.
to just talk about this because this is absolutely incredible, and it's so cheap too. It's like $30 for the program. 100% worth it. Totally worth it. But yeah, go and check it out. That's Pixaki. Pixaki, I think, is $10 or $20 on the iPad, and you can create some mega cool stuff in it. And what's great about that is I was able to bring over my palettes, the 56 colors that I used in NES Maker. I was able to bring those all over as hex values, so I'm making sure that I'm using, just those palettes. And the hardest part is you have to make sure that you're only using 4 colors or 3 colors and transparency in a 16 by 16 pixel grid. It's so limiting, but it's absolutely so much fun.
But it's got to be better than doing what do you call it? Midjourney, right? Because didn't you try that?
I was talking to someone the other day, and they're like, "Well, can you just use Midjourney for some of the artwork?"
Yeah.
And it's like, yes, you
Clinton
can
Jones,
use Midjourney for
right?
the artwork in order to like get a general idea, but you've got to go through and you've got to color everything in order to get it into that same 12 color palette, 16 by 16 pixel grid. It's Midjourney does too good of a job, if that makes sense. They do too good of a job in making it look good, versus being able to put those limitations on.
Right.
So
yeah,
that's NES Maker. For y'all, if you're interested in building games, especially 2D side scrollers or something, in Unreal. So I went through all this training for NES Maker, and then I was like, well, let me see what it would take if I wanted to do this in Unreal. A lot of the steps are surprisingly similar. You're just not limited by the amount of colors and the amount of things, but creating your objects and your actions and stuff like that. It's all extremely similar. So, if you're interested in retro gaming, check it out. NES Maker.
And speaking of Nintendo, there's a thing that's coming out. It's like a what would you call it? It's a what do you call the thing? A cart.
Or something like that.
Yeah. A cart, right?
Yeah.
And it goes inside of the Switch, but then you put an SD card inside of it, and it will load, side load, whatever it is. Just any game you want, I guess. I'm assuming that Nintendo is very upset about this.
Yeah, I don't know. There are certain cases or certain docks that you can buy that have the attachments that go inside of the Switch to where you can actually side load 4 games all at once. So I don't know how similar this is versus if it's just used for piracy.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah. But
we'll see.
A couple other headlines here. We're going to be doing our Artist Spotlight, huh?
Yeah. So this week's Artist Spotlight is David Malor, also known as Mellow Mograph. He was recently on the XR Motion podcast. For those who don't know about the XR Motion podcast, it's Michael Steinberg and Andrew Hogue, where they talk about AR, XR, VR, stuff like that. And Mellow was talking to them about the Clinton Jones Endless Engines competition. He won 4th place in, and it's not a surprise because the work is absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
And I was telling Dave this the other day that I absolutely love his style, and it's so interesting. And I think the only reason he's getting that type of style is because of sculpting in 3D and stuff like that. It's really, really cool. You can check out the XR Motion podcast at xrmotion.com. Also, if you're in the New York area, they have monthly meetings. If you go to xrmotion.com, you can actually check out some of their meetups. They've got one Thursday, January 25th of this month. over at Crystal Lake, Brooklyn. I went to one when I was there back in October. It's a real fun meetup.
Yeah.
So yeah.
After Effects has finally entered the 21st century, by the way, and they are doing 3D now, so you can import models faster than Hugh Hefner. Huh? No?
It's terrible.
So now you can bring 3D models directly into After Effects. I haven't had a chance to try this, but I would like to and just see how it works. You can also like do HDR environments and work with your model. I don't know what render engine this is, and I don't know how that works, but the beta version is getting updated with new features on this too, improvements for 3D
Do you happen to know if it's like real time, like similar to
anything in After Effects real time?
Well,
another bell.
No, similar to like, Element 3D or something like that, whether it's working off the GPU or whatever.
Yes. There was an excellent video by one of our friends. There's no way I'm going to be able to find it right now. I should have bookmarked it. That went over it, and he had like models in there and was kind of showing it. So yeah, it works kind of how you would expect it to work with the 3D tools in After Effects, which are not great, but it also has like advanced lighting options and things. So there's also 3D models in Adobe stock now that you can just bring in. Cool. So thought that was pretty interesting. And then finally we got our last headline here. Here it is.
Yeah.
Camp Mograph, Australia.
Australia.
Woo!
So for those who are interested, those living down under, living in New Zealand, or maybe even some of the Asian countries, if you want to make your way down to Brisbane at the end of June 27th to 30th, in Brisbane, we'll be at PGL Kindland Summer Camp. It's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be a 3-day event. We're doing the 3-day event in Australia this year because we don't know, if anyone wants to do the extra day or whatever. It's our first time doing it, so we're super excited to see how it goes. Tickets go on sale next week, January 15th, 2024 at noon Brisbane time. So if you're in the US, that's actually the night of the 14th. So make sure if you're planning on going, get ready. You can go to campmograph.com.au for the website, or you can go to campmograph2024.eventbrite.com to go
straight
directly
to the ticket.
To the ticket
But
site.
you can get to that right from the website. Like if you're on the website, you can get to that Eventbrite page. Certainly you can. Oh, okay. Okay, good. Just checking.
So I just finished building the Eventbrite site today, so we'll get that all linked up.
Okay. Gotcha.
Yeah, but it's going to be fun. We've got some amazing fireside chats. We've got Ben Marriott. You all know him from YouTube.
Why don't you marry it?
Excellent. What?
I said, why don't you marry it?
Huh? Bing.
Man, I'm on the dad joke run today.
Yeah. Ben Marriott, you know him from YouTube, super great motion designer. And then we've also got Olivia Chen, founder and creative director at Studio Chen. Super excited to have them on board. And we've got more to be announced soon for that last fireside chat. And then we've got some amazing workshops. Jess Herrera, Matt Taylor, EJ's coming down with us as well. Helena Papagorgigo. I'm not sure whether I'm saying that right.
That's a pretty good attempt right there, I gotta say.
I feel like I did an okay job. Then we've got Professor Selena Bartlett from neuroscience that we're going to pick her brain about understanding our brain better, which is going to be a lot of fun. And then K-Rail for sound design. It's going to be a lot of fun. We may be adding some more workshop instructors as well. It's gonna be great. So you can go to campmograph.com.au to check out the camp and the tickets and frequently asked questions and the lodging. We've got 3 different tickets this year. We've got community cabins. We've got platform tent camping, which are basically these big, gigantic platform tents with bunk beds and beds in them. And then we've also got we're bringing back the bring your own tent camping ticket. So if you feel like, being in the great outdoors with all the Australian wildlife, feel free to bring your own tent. I will be in a community cabin this year.
BYOTT.
Yeah, BY.
What's the extra
What's
T
that
for?
be for?
That's a typo.
Oh, that's a typo. But yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, people have been asking, what's up with the U.S. camp? There is still going to be a U.S. camp. We are doing 2 camps this year. We are going to be killing ourselves doing 2 camps this year. So we're super excited, about Camp Mograph Australia in June. And then we will be doing a second camp in the United States in September. As of right now, it's looking. It should be September. It should be the same week that it always is.
Right. And that's the thing is that we are bringing American Summer Camp to Australia. There's 4 Australians, so we don't want anyone to be confused. Like, oh, I have to go to Australia. No, you can go to the American Summer Camp, but you can come over to Australia if you want. It's just there's both, so you got a choice.
Or you can go to both. I have a feeling we may see some people at both. I'll be at both.
Yeah,
And then September September is when the Camp Mograph US is happening. There will probably be an announcement about the location here at the end of the month.
Yes.
So
yes, and they're going to have a lot of activities as well, like the list of possible activities.
Yes.
Asterisk.
Yeah, all depending on the weather and everything. But while it is technically winter in Brisbane. When they were checking it out, when we had boots on the ground last June, the weather was beautiful. It was like 73 degrees Fahrenheit, which is just perfect. So it's going to be a lot of fun, a lot of great activities. There's zip lining over a lake, which is way cool. Super excited about that. But yeah, it's going to be fun. CampMograph.com for the US, CampMograph.com.au for Australia camp.
Awesome. And those are the headlines. Yeah. We'll be right back after this.
Hi, my name is Sashia Dumont. I'm a writer, actor, and filmmaker.
Hi, my name is Paul Robinson. I'm a director, DP, and filmmaker. We are the creators and hosts of the Go Gorilla Filmcast, an online source for all things indie film.
We are a husband and wife film team and co-owners of Send 3 Productions, and we started this podcast for filmmakers like ourselves who were producing on micro budgets with skeleton crews.
Go Gorilla is a weekly podcast that features various talents in TV, film, and web series productions.
We've interviewed filmmaker powerhouses like Kestrin Pantera,
Richard Raymond,
Alex Ferrari,
Cassandra Ebner,
and Ryan Connolly. Amazing actors like Hannah Ward,
Lou Taylor Pucci,
Chris Wataski,
and Eileen Gruba.
Groundbreaking cinematographers like Jody Lee Lipes,
and Jessica Lee Gagné, and many more.
We also offer weekly reviews of our favorite films and shows, which vary from low-budget first-time filmmakers to A-listers and everyone in between. Go Gorilla is proud to announce that we have officially joined the Mograph Podcast Network.
So if you love filmmaking as much as we do,
tune in every Sunday for a new episode of the Go Gorilla Filmcast. Your source for all things indie film. Now available on the Mograph Podcast Network.
All right, let's talk Move.ai.
Yes.
For the person listening who has never heard of Move.ai before, tell us what it is.
Yeah, I got to snap in now. I've been watching for the last 20 minutes. So I'm like, all right, I'm on the show.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
In. Yeah. So Move, really easy way to capture and create 3D animations. So that's the simplest way I can describe it. We have everything from single camera motion capture all the way up to 12 cameras real time. So it's really our mission to make it really easy for 3D content creators to capture and create their 3D animations.
And this is not there's no like motion trackers or anything needed, right?
Yeah. I forgot my kicker.
Yeah, I was gonna say
markers needed.
Yeah.
No markers needed.
Yeah, you don't want to say no, like like you still need some sort of decorum, but yeah, no markers, no suits needed. Yeah, we just need human bodies out there.
That's awesome.
So you're just using it. It's done entirely with your cell phone, right?
So you can you can use it with your cell phone, but you can also use any standard or professional camera. So we have people that use it from an iPhone all the way up to Blackmagic cameras.
Okay, so like it doesn't necessarily it doesn't necessarily have to be live when you shoot it, or are
doesn't.
you able to bring in the
nice.
basically the footage after the fact?
Yeah, totally. You can bring it in after. Our secret sauce is really turning 2D video into 3D motion data.
Wow.
So wherever that 2D video comes from, you can upload it, and we will give you back that 3D motion data if you have those cameras synced or that footage synced. So yeah, you could shoot for a whole week if you want, and then just pull the selects, sync them up, and upload them, and we'll give you back that motion data.
Amazing.
And what's the
Amazing.
cost?
What's the wow? All right, let's go through the.
Yeah, I want to know because I'm. It says try for free.
Headline, okay. Value prop. Okay, now let's go to pricing. Yeah. So
yes, I want to know.
We have Move 1, which is our single camera product that starts at $15 per month.
Okay.
So you can use that with your iPhone. You can shoot, capture. You usually will get back that data in like under 10 minutes. So it's really fast.
Okay.
And you can try it for free. So I encourage anyone listening.
Nice.
It's super fun. Turn yourself into a little robot. You'll get that back in under 10 minutes. And then you can export that, in FBX and upload it to whatever tool you use. And that scales all the way up to, like the EA Sports of the world, who use us for their title games. And they've, gone through those case studies at SIGGRAPH. But yeah, it can scale all the way up from $15 a month all the way up to the AAA quality games, films, productions.
Interesting.
Awesome.
Now you've got real time. Is there a real time option with you guys?
We do have real time as well. Yeah.
Yeah, because I was curious about would it be possible to do something like a digital avatar or something?
Yes.
On Twitch or something like that. I know Sony has the Makopi stuff that they came out with, and I didn't know how similar that was.
Yeah. So we have. Our real-time system works great for virtual production. We get a lot of interest there for actually events, so experiential events, activations, and then a lot of VTuber interest right now.
Yeah.
Ton of VTubers. Yeah. If you guys want to turn yourselves into avatars for the show, you can absolutely
we should do that. That would be fun.
If you want to, that'd be have a separate stream where it's the alternative broadcast where. Like the NFL, you turn yourself into SpongeBob and Patrick, or you do like the Toy Story ones. But yeah, it works great. Right now we're able to capture up to 2 people, working on expanding that out.
Okay. And is that taking just a feed? How exactly does it work? Is it taking just a say my camera feed right here, and then running it through an external program?
Mm-hmm. So we can do 4 cameras tracking 1 person or 8 cameras tracking 2, and then we have a plugin in Unreal. So yeah, you can just render that out into Unreal.
Amazing.
That's the most common use case, I would say.
Yeah.
Jags is interested right now. I can tell. He's in the chat. He's gonna try
a lot of real-time interest.
I wanted to try it this week actually, but with all the redesign of the show, I wasn't able to get to it. So I'm looking forward to doing that. I really think we should try and do a whole show like that.
I think
it's
so
just
too.
hardest to do. It's it's the on-prem. You have to buy special hardware for it. It's just way harder than just whipping out an iPhone app.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really cool. I mean, there's a ton of use cases for it. So it's a really exciting product for us.
But you have other use cases for it. Like you were talking, I think on the Bad Decisions podcast about like being able to do stuff like physical therapy, warehouse safety, other things with it, right?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. So like I said, we're really good at turning 2D video into 3D data, 3D motion data. Right now, it's for the human body. You can ask me about dogs and horses later, but right now, it's for the human body because we do get those requests a lot. Those are the top 2. We do bipeds right now. And EJ cheated. He did like the sumo pug,
right?
Which is that a biped? I guess it's bipedal.
Yeah,
technically,
I mean, the way he was rigging it, yes. Yeah, I think all of his pugs are more bipedal than they are quadrupeds. Yeah.
Wait, hold on.
Got the little. Do we all have sumo pug? We all 3 simultaneously have different versions of sumo pug. I love it.
Funny.
There's a show art right there.
Yeah.
So real time. Yeah, I think with all our secret sauce is 2D video to 3D motion data. And so we started in the media, entertainment, gaming, production industries where you can use that for animation. But we've also seen you can use it for training. You can use it on construction sites. We're really excited to see kind of what people need and will use 3D motion data for because we have APIs available where you can build it into whatever product or application that you have.
So that's cool. Okay.
Yeah, my father-in-law works in construction. He was like, "Wait, could I like track, my workers on the site to like make sure they're adhering to like the safety precautions, or like how can they get more efficient at what they're doing?" And I'm like, "That's really cool. Yeah, like that's tracking human motion, not for sumo pugs of the world, but like a really interesting other use case."
Big
so,
brother.
There's a lot of cool stuff you can do with Well, hopefully not. We don't want to get in there. You don't really need 3D motion data for that. 2D, right? But the 3D can help with a lot of other things.
I love that idea though of like physical therapy. Is somebody getting better? You can track, because even like the Apple Watch tracks like if it thinks your gait is changing or whatever, like it thinks you're gonna have a fall. It could maybe even warn you of like possible safety concerns based on what it sees. That would be cool.
Well, that's our startup story. That's Tino is our CEO and co-founder, and he had just had a baby, or his wife did. Him and his wife had a baby together, and he couldn't make it to the gym anymore. So I think he like was getting his PhD in computer vision. We have a bunch of like the PhDs on this team are crazy, but he's like, you know what? I'm gonna hack a Kinect camera or like hack something because I want to track my own workouts to make sure I'm squatting all the way or getting full range of motion. So that's where it started, and then it's grown since then. So yeah, that workout, health, physical therapy is super interesting.
Jags is interested again.
Yeah, just get that sports science going. Like, how do I get my vertical just a little? How do I get that mobility a little bit more?
And sorry, how many people can it track all at once?
Depends on the product. So Move 1 can track 1.
Okay.
The real-time system can track 1 to 2.
Okay.
And then our multi-camera, we've tracked up to 22 people simultaneously.
Wow.
Yeah.
And
so,
how accurate is it when people are like crossing in front of each other and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like,
well, you can't track 22 with one camera, I can tell you that.
Okay.
Once we get there, like, can we keep making advancements? It's like, you could just one camera and 22 people and you guess where they are.
Yeah.
No, it's very much, as you expand the number of people and the volume, you need to expand the number of cameras because you need those angles.
Okay.
So it just depends on, what your use case is and what you're willing to invest to capture those people.
I don't know if you can give away some of the secret sauce or something. I would assume maybe you just like, no, I don't. I'm not going to tell you this. But
well, if I knew,
I couldn't
tell you if they told me. So I can try to interpret it.
Well, I mean, does it have anything to do with like nerfs or Gaussian splat stuff where it's taking that information, seeing what's static and what is moving, and trying to build something off of that?
I will say the thing that I can explain the best is it's the physics models. That's what really makes it powerful.
Okay.
Is we have a very, it started from research. It started from a bunch of PhDs. Tino, Dr. Nikos Zikos out of Greece. So we had, love Nikos Zikos. Marco, our research and development team is really strong. And a lot of it is based on the physics models. So they can predict, for example, if you're using one camera, like Move 1, and you turn sideways, how do we know what your arm's doing?
Right.
But we can guess at it because we know what the limits of human bodies are.
Right.
And what the joint movements are and what you can do and what you can't do.
Yeah.
And as an example of this, we brought in a world famous contortionist, and she broke all of our models because it was she's not supposed to be able to bend that far.
That's funny.
That is not a human movement that's possible.
Yeah.
And Marco got really frustrated, which is really funny from the stories I hear. But it's combining the computer vision, what you're able to see with those physics models to really get really good estimates of what a human body is doing, which is why we can't do horses and dogs yet.
Right.
'Cause that's a completely different physics model of what they can do.
Right.
Yeah.
And see, that's so smart because it's you would think that any sort of rigging software, if you're doing a bipedal or whatever, cinema should know you can't bend that way.
Yeah.
So it's I don't know.
It shouldn't let it shouldn't let it go that way. And that's why we have actor profiles where you can set up, because we'll estimate bone lengths. But if you give us the bone lengths, it gets even more accurate because you can set up that actor profile and be like, all right, this is literally the bones. Do not let these bones do anything different than what they should be able to do, because we know, which is it's weird to think about it that way. It's just you're tracking bones on set. But that's, that combined with the computer vision, the AI, all the models that they put on top of it to make it more accurate. yeah, it's fascinating what they're able to do.
That's really cool. That's super cool.
Once you get the horse one working, you can call up David Ariev and have him try it.
Yeah.
On his horse.
I was like, can't we just like go? I want like a human starting in A pose or T pose, whatever. You can do A pose, and then just they're running in the. We have that. We do. People will constantly try that. Well, they'll pick up their dog and try to put the dog into a T pose.
Oh, that's
just
great.
to try to capture the dog.
That's great.
So funny.
I love that. Oh,
Does it work? Are there certain situations in which it works more correctly, like up against a green screen versus like a busy background or something like that?
Yeah, that's a great question. It gets like a lot of people are shooting in dark basements for some reason. A lot of the things, whatever
a lot
reason,
of creepy users.
A lot of not good lighting, not like you guys on your setups. But we get pretty good results across the board. The things that help the most are contrast between the upper and lower bodies.
Okay.
So just differentiating, having it understand that, oh, that's the upper body, that's the lower body. The biggest thing is just being able to see the legs and feet. So if you're wearing a giant skirt and we can't see your legs, that's really hard because that's kind of where everything is grounded. So yeah, it's just really being able to see your legs, being able to see your feet, and contrast between your upper and lower body and you and your background.
And does the camera need to be stationary the whole time, or like are you able
technically?
Okay. I was just curious
as
if
the recommendation.
Okay.
Yeah.
So like if you're like shooting video of someone walking or like doing some sort of like fighting, jumping, whatever, and it's just on your cell phone and you're following along, it wouldn't necessarily be able to track the motion of where the location of the person is.
Yes,
right?
I will say that it's treadmill right now. It's like
okay.
So we constantly are testing this stuff out. So I ran by my colleague right next to him as he was riding a bike. And like capturing while I'm running, and I was pretty shocked at like results are pretty good. Like it's solid in frame, but it's not moving in 3D space. That is something we're working on, that you can actually track that person through the space, and when you bring it into Blender or whatever, you'll be able to see that movement across the actual volume of the space. Yeah. So yes, that would be very cool.
I would be curious to like. I would think that you would be able to like at least. Take the
spatial data from your phone. Take the spatial
data, or the tracking data that's going in there, seeing what's moving and what's not, and seeing if you can
reverse engineer the gyros, right?
Yeah.
Gyros? That's exactly it.
Yeah.
Us three may not be able to figure this out. This is why I'm on the podcast and not in the lab right now. Yeah, just do it.
We're brainstorming for you. We're figuring out your next big thing.
Just look at the horizon or something and like pick a spot. You'll figure it out.
Yeah, just stabilize it in After Effects real quick, and then
fix it in post.
Yeah.
We did joke about that. Like, is it really just? Well, did you see the jokes around Open API where it's really just like they open the server room and it's just a bunch of people manually responding to everything? Like it's just us getting the video and then quickly like animating it ourselves and then sending you back based on what you're that's a good MVP.
Funny. It's like that Shel Silverstein the computing machine or something where there's just someone inside it the whole time.
There's a name for it. I always forget the name of that thing. Somebody will have it in chat. Yeah. I forgot it last time we talked about it on the show too. It's the something box or something.
This is where listeners live can help us out.
Yeah, exactly. Someone will get it.
Can usually help.
So how does it deliver the data? What do you get? What does it spit out?
Yeah, FBX is the most common. So you can do USD file, you can do FBX file. That's what I see for the most part. You can also, export the MP4 file, the input video. So if you need that as reference, that's super easy. And then there's just a laundry list of other file types for Move Multicam, which is the, Move 1, it's USD and FBX. But Move Multicam is an enormous list past that. So it's really just trying to find whatever file type the person needs to import into their 3D engine is what we provide.
And it will do the motion capture data, like the bones, so that you can then link them to whatever like Mixamo model you have.
Yes, we have different ways that you can export it. We are constantly adding more. I think our top requested one is the Unreal Engine, which obvious. I think that's that's something we would love to work towards. But yeah, there's a whole bunch that you can export from. And then for stuff like our API, like it can just be a massive spreadsheet of all the 3D data. So not necessarily for like an animation use case, but if you're just looking for the XYZ, data, raw data coming out, that's what we're giving, and then just trying to put it in the right formats for people to use.
Cool.
That's cool.
What have people, like, what are some of the things that you've seen people do with it, right? Like, what are some of your favorites that have come down the pipeline?
Yeah, Copilot did underwater capture with Move.
Oh, fun.
So that was a really good YouTube video. I encourage everyone to check that out. That was really fun. Where they're like, we're going to recreate Avatar, but with one iPhone.
Wow.
And so they got pretty decent results. They did it for like an astronaut animation in space. But yeah, they rented out a pool and they went and they did underwater capture, which was amazing to see. I think they ziplocked it. They're getting it in the waterproof cases. They're doing all that. That was really fun. But yeah, it really ranges from, like, most of our customers are in film, gaming, production, whether that's like on the advertising side. I see a lot of, actually, Move One, like we were like, okay, can we give you good enough quality with just a single camera to use for previs, for NPC characters, for maybe where you don't need that AAA quality, but it's good enough for a ton of use cases. But we see it used in like international productions now. One was used for the Cricket World Cup avatar animations. So that was really cool, where the cricketer, I'm still learning. I live in London, but I'm American. So the cricketer, the bowler, like a lot of talent doesn't want to wear a suit, and they will not wear a suit. So being able to capture them where they're just like kind of in their natural environment is really fun. And then Move Multicam, the EA Sports one is, I grew up on EA. And having that kind of be a use case that's, that they talk about at SIGGRAPH and they talk about in different places is really cool to see. And, just visiting their campus in Vancouver, I'm just like, oh, like, look at that. That's where that's made. And like, it's just an incredible experience to see that. So that's probably my favorite use case.
Yeah, I think I sent you something yesterday, Matt, on TikTok. It was ESPN did something, and it had people moving in it. And I was like, this doesn't look good enough to be anything but Unreal. You know what I mean? Unreal Engine, because the render quality, but it looks like it had motion capture in it, and I was like, I wonder where they did the motion capture and stuff. But you can tell, a lot of people are going with that. Like you were talking about the Toy Story thing. That was fun to watch.
It really was.
The Toy Story thing? I don't.
So
think
they
I
had
know
they had an NFL London game. I think it was Jacksonville, Atlanta.
Yes. Yeah.
And it was the Toy Story, and like the Slinky was the 10-yard marker. So it would like accordion based on that, which was really funny. But they did live. I think that was a combination. They put like things in the jersey to track the players in real time. There were some technical glitches, but like when you're doing that for that many players, there's it's amazing they were able to do it in the first place.
I know.
But the production was amazing. Like the supporting content, the reception. I thought I am most excited for there to be more platforms that embrace 3D. And 3D work, because we live in like a 2D world now online, and I want to kind of break that barrier to give some depth to things, because I think that's going to be the big breakthrough for 3D is like, when will platforms embrace and support that type of environment?
Well, and going to AR as well, because when AR gets bigger and XR or whatever, everybody's going to have their own like official avatar, right? When you're walking down the street with the AR glasses on, you're going to see people dressed up, mostly like furries, I'm sure. I mean, let's be honest. It's going to be anime
like
characters.
That's not happening in London.
when it's gonna be you can make your own avatar, and everybody has the glasses, like it gets big like the iPhone, right? Everybody has them. You have to have your official avatar, so you're gonna see furries, you're gonna see anime characters. Tell me I'm wrong, right?
Sure.
It's gonna happen. Just like Second Life or any of those, right? Everybody's a furry, so I think once that happens, you're going to need real time. Your glasses have the little camera in them, right? You're going to need real time to animate those people's furry avatars. I'm just saying.
That's not what I meant when I said I was looking forward to that. But yeah, I would love for more platforms to support 3D, and that's what makes me excited about Move and the 3D workflows. Maybe
How
not
have-
furries in real life, but yeah,
How
I
heavy
agree
is
with your
the data?
sentiment.
I would think that the data might be the ultimate like kind of barrier for getting stuff more 3D
Right.
stuff online or something like that.
I don't even know if it's the
processing.
data. Like the reason I joined Move is because I had my own company called Slope, and we did 2D video collaboration. Like we started that because that was right when social platforms in the early 2010s started offering video upload. Before that, you could not upload a video to social media, which is wild to think about.
Yeah.
But you couldn't do it, so no one did it. No marketing team created video. Like, it was a very rare thing to create a video. It's like a big campaign or for an advertisement on TV or whatever. And as every platform started pushing video, everyone started investing in video because there was a platform where you could actually upload it. And so that video took off, and then it became video first. I'm starting to see that happen more with 3D now, but the platform, like, how do you go into TikTok and experience something in 3D? You can't right now. Instagram's starting to do it a little bit with AR. If you're scrolling through Twitter, it's all just a 2D experience. And so I'm excited to see how these platforms innovate and give you those 3D experiences, so that it kind of will create a boom for the 3D world. Because right now, I don't think it's data. I think it's the platforms don't support it. The creation tools are too hard to use. Like, I do freelance video work. I'm trying to learn 3D animation now. It is so much harder than 2D video. It is unbelievable what links. I have a lot of respect for 3D animators.
We need to introduce you to Cinema 4D.
I've heard. I've been to the events. I've been. I'm getting there. I'm building my donut right now, creating my donut. So I'll I'll eventually get there.
Let's see. You're in Blender. Okay.
Yeah.
I am in Blender. Yeah. That's where I was told to start.
We'll get you.
Windrush was pretty hard for Cinema 4D though.
Yeah.
He's like, if you're going to start somewhere, go for it. So I think I'll eventually get there once the nonstop startup tasks finish. But I have a new respect for it. But I be patient. I think it's getting there. The more brands I talk to, the more marketing teams I talk to, it's starting with real time. Like, they're getting really excited about these in-person experiential activations where people can go and interact in 3D environments. And I think it's going to move on to, eventually get on these platforms.
Well, what about processing power? Like, let's say it's the future, right? Everybody's got their AR glasses on, and they're at a football game, or let's say basketball, because you are a former basketball sports photographer, right?
Yes, I do a lot of basketball work.
So imagine you're at the game, and it's like the Toy Story thing, but you're seeing them there. What kind of processing power would that take? Could it be offloaded? Could it be on the cloud? Is that something that's doable now, or is there still a barrier?
I think there's a barrier. Even doing real time, like, to get the delays that you're looking for, like the lack of a delay, it needs to be on premise. You need some pretty serious computing power. So I think as it gets better and better, as the streaming through cloud services gets faster, I think it's going to be more accessible. But it's hard right now. I mean, it's really hard to render that out in real time with whatever millisecond delay you need. If 100 milliseconds is like the minimum, that's tough to do that fast with that type of data.
Because they could translate that easily to Toy Story, because I'm sure they got crazy computing power for that. But for that football game, but you're not seeing a delay because you're not watching
a lot of
live.
hardware too.
Right.
Yeah. And you're watching an alternative broadcast, so it's not necessarily watching the game; it's watching the Toy Story version of it. So you're right. There's not like the delay between it, but so they can afford. That could even be async, and you consume it separately. Not in that real time.
So they would have to have
a lot of hardware required right now.
Yeah, they would have to have like a huge server working like a football game, a basketball game, and maybe it sends all that it would have to send back to your AR glasses would be the 3D position of where you are in relation to those things. But I can imagine getting that going for a live sporting event would be crazy.
Yeah, well, I think there's some things went viral on Twitter recently where you could watch it like in the AR experience where you put the game on like your table. And then they're playing like on top of the game. I think it was Rezzle or something, right? Where they do that broadcast, and it's like it's 3D. You walk around the platform, like that stuff that's starting to get really cool, where they can render that stuff out in real time.
And this is Move.ai. Tell us a little bit about I'm sure there's a secret algorithm, but like tell us about the AI portion of that.
Yeah.
Like what is the contribution?
It is part of everything else I discussed with the physics models, the computer vision. It is part of that entire, it's everything that our research and development team creates that allows us to convert that 2D to 3D.
Mm-hmm.
So it is part of all of those models, and a lot of it supplements each other. So when you see like new computer vision models coming out, new depth models, new AI models, like all of these things contribute to each other that allow us to try to get better and better output data for those kind of 3D motion data sets that we produce. So yeah, it's part of that. It is definitely, it's not, it is interesting because we get this question a lot of like, oh, are you are you Gen AI? Like, is it, and it technically like it's 2D to 3D, or so it is kind of generating and guessing what those in between movements are and make, but it's not necessarily the same as like a Mid-Journey or a Runway creating a video based on text prompts.
Okay.
Yeah. I tried that one. What was it called? Was it called Gen? Where you could, was it called Gen? I don't remember. I had a subscription for a little while. I tried doing a character and all of that. But
for the generative animation.
No, it was the one where, I mean, it was a similar thing where you could upload a video, but I don't remember the name of the website.
I think
now.
I know what you're talking about. It was with the robot thing or something.
Yeah,
right?
it had a bunch
and
of robots
like
you could try.
Clean up all the background and put you into the thing.
Oh,
yeah,
like the old what is it, Elf Yourself?
Yes.
Yeah, kind of. Are there any live use cases you see that you really like so far? Like, what's your favorite thing someone's
like that are being used right now
for real time? Yeah.
Oh, that I can talk about? You guys are going to get in trouble here. EA is all over the internet, so I'm happy to talk about them and not get in trouble for anything. You can see the ones that I've seen is like, I think Moment Factory at SIGGRAPH. They had the booth up. If any of you went to that event, that was really cool. They did Doctor Strange, so you could like do the
oh, cool.
What's this called?
Okay.
Yeah.
You could like create a ring.
Movements, whatever.
That thing I'm doing. Yeah, if you're not watching live, I'm doing Doctor Strange hand movements. I'm opening up the portal, so you could do that. You could like interact with the portal. I think at South by Southwest last year, they did the F1 example where you could like, you were yourself with the F1 car in the background, but then you like walked through a virtual door and you got completely suited up in the F1 suit. And you could like interact with the car, interact with like the slipstream, and you could like see it. So there's some really cool examples there. We did one at Outernet in London, which is like the enormous outdoor screen, and it would like mirror you we had like a ballet dancer doing it, and the characters were put up there so you could kind of see yourself up on the screen. So those are the ones I know I can talk about publicly because they're already out there. But yeah, events are a really fun part of it for me. And I think I would love to see someone, and this is a pitch for any brand out there, if you have two of these stations in different sides of the world, you can have people you can have people playing against each other in real time on other sides of the world. Like one-on-one basketball, two-on-two basketball. You can be playing games with other people. I think that would be so cool. Someone needs to do that.
Camp Mograph Australia versus Camp Mograph US.
Yes, in real time. Sumo Pug wrestle off against some other attendee's character.
That's funny.
Yeah, we'll get EJ on that. Come on, EJ, let's do it. There's some great examples and things on your website too. You have an inspiration page. Is this basically, I guess, what people have done with it so far? I think.
Yeah.
Let me bring it up here so you can see what I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, that one. Ooh, like the VTubers, the K-pop. Yeah, people love these. And it's so funny too because it's people like to see the skeletons. They like to see like the digital fashion is really taking off. People love the digital fashion. But this was shot, I think, with 4 iPhones. So that was just a 4 iPhone setup. And she was able to get that.
Man,
I think the other ones.
There's an API directly for Unreal Engine.
So we have a single camera API that you can use and build into your workflows. The real time allows you to plug into Unreal. for the
Is
real-time
that like
rendering.
a Datasmith plugin type thing you can do, or
It's
do
like a
you have
live
to...
link plugin.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Cool.
so cool. Wow. Because I'm looking at the one. If you go down like two more, Dave.
Two
the
more. Okay.
Unreal.
This
Yeah,
one?
that one right there.
Oh, here you go, Jags.
It's so smooth.
That is.
Yeah, I think that's Move 1. So I think that's the one camera.
Wow.
And there's no cleanup on this. This is direct out of the...
I think that one was direct. Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
That's really great.
That
I
is
like
great.
that. I'm interested to try that, because that's the hardest thing, right? Like, it's always this whole like barrier to entry. I'm not good at characters in the first place, so if I've got to clean something up,
Yeah.
good luck for me. I'm calling someone else.
Well, when I started, I interviewed hundreds of animators. That's kind of where I started to try to learn as much as I could. And there's such a funny quote of like, they're actors that are shy, like they don't want to perform in front of an audience, but they want to showcase and they want to perform for their characters and like put that in. So in the safety of their own home, they will perform and give you like that performance that they want to see in their characters.
Right.
And that's kind of what we wanted to do with Move 1 is like just use your one phone, capture whatever you want, and then you can get really close to what you're looking for, and then obviously do all the final touches and everything. Where teams, like a lot of the gaming teams we talked to, would get into fights because they would ship a single suit around and like someone wouldn't wash it from the previous. It's just a nightmare. And you'd have to like schedule in when do you get the suit, or you try to like send a description to your producer and they would do the capture and send it back to you. So it's just a nightmare.
Yeah.
And if you can get,
or you'd buy
80%
one
of the way
size
there.
suit and then have to
One
get
size suit,
an
yeah.
extra large person
Right.
into a large suit.
Yes.
And then you have to move all the hardware to that other size suit, which that is a
Yep.
huge
Yes.
pain. Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yeah, I think that one of the toughest things as an animator, if you want to make your own stuff, like say you want to make a short or you want to like do your own thing, right? The hardest thing is like, I got this idea for the story. This is great. And then you're like, but I'm not a character person, so I can't put a character in
Yeah.
it. Like, so I guess I'm going to do this story using no characters somehow. And you have to like come up with something else. So many times I've had an idea, but I'm like, yeah, but then I'd have to know how to animate a character, you know?
Yeah. I just this past week or so, I've got a client, David Lopez. He's a YouTuber. He's got like 2 million subscribers or something like that. And I did this video. I was animating one of the grunts from Halo, right? And I'm upset about the final that he like comped a bunch of stuff over it. And I'm like, come on, dude, just tell me to do this. I would have made it look better. Anyway. But
did you get? And I would love to see you perform that with like the green, like blood
I didn't actually
spouting
do
out
it.
the back.
So this was the first time, like, really going into like character animation or just motion capture stuff. I do have a Makopi that Sony sent me, and I was gonna try it out for this, but I was like, let me just rig this person in Mixamo first, and then I was able to pull a bunch of clips from Mixamo, but I can see like needing something custom that Mixamo doesn't have,
because they never update anything ever.
That really quickly, and being able to iterate, or if it's like instead of using motion clips and having to like, there was at one point where like my character did something and then it turned, but it's like feet shuffle and it doesn't look great. I can see a situation where it's like, let's just do this real quick.
We had one of my favorite examples is someone, I'm blanking on the name now. They did a whole animation of fighting against themselves. So it's like a boxing match.
Rad.
And they performed one character, and then they had the other character dodging it, and they synced it perfectly. So they had a fight against themselves. That was really cool.
That's awesome.
That's amazing.
Yeah. If there's any questions for people who are watching live, put them in the chat, because we're getting pretty close to wrapping up here. In the meantime, we are going to go to a quick break. So if you don't know, Dreisen's show Frame 1 is now on Mograph podcast network as well, and you can get all the info. I believe it's mograph.com/frame1. if you want to check it out. But they've joined us too, so check this out.
Hey, fellow Mographer, I'm Dryson, and I would love to personally invite you to check out Frame One, a podcast where I sit down with creative leaders within our industry to hear the journey of their startup story, how they felt, and of course, uncover tips and tricks that they use to find success in their business. If you've ever considered freelancing, or maybe even starting your own studio, you need to check out Frame One, available on all podcasting platforms, and of course, at frameoneshow.com.
Hopefully some people have taken our poll. I don't know how many people are watching live right now. We can go ahead and check and see if any more came in. Oh, yeah. Somebody said no.
No came in.
Somebody said no.
Got our first no.
Well, I would say since we started at 5-0, it's about even. So
Yeah,
an
that's
even amount
true.
of people are
The
feeling
curmudgeon
pretty.
came out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see as the week goes on. We're going to track that poll and we'll go back to it, and see how it's going. I'm telling you, more in 24.
More than 24.
More in 24.
I like
More than
that.
24.
I don't see any other questions coming in. Do we have anything we haven't covered?
Brian, is there something on the horizon with Move.ai that you can
Yeah.
like tease or anything like that, or is there something that
great
you're
question.
excited about?
I'm trying to find something to go along with no cap, mocap. I think that's a cool name for something. I can't figure out what we should use that for. That's something coming up. I guess we launched a lot of products last year.
Yeah.
Real time, multicam, and Move One. So really, right now, it's about continuously making improvements in that. So yeah, my biggest call to action is try Move One. It's free to start with. Only starts at $15 a month. You'll get your results back in 10 minutes.
Nice.
And it's super fun. Turn yourself into a robot, see how it works, export it, and film a fighter yourself. It's a good time.
That's cool.
Halo
That's super
animations incoming.
Yeah, right?
Yes. Get that Master Chief going. Yeah.
Yep.
Cool.
Brian, where can people find you online if they want to contact you or anything like that?
Move.ai will be the center of anything. You can find us on social from there. But yeah, Move.ai, website, learn more. And then for me, Brian Bosché across socials. I'm happy to chat if anyone has questions afterward. If you're listening to this right now and you want to send me a DM, I respond to all DMs. So
Awesome.
hit me up.
You got
And
a
Brian,
huge...
thank you for coming out to the DAT show in London. I appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah.
Especially the pints after. We did have to walk. We passed about 74 of the best pubs in London.
Oh my gosh.
But we
Freaking
eventually
PJ.
got to one. I'm like, look at that one. Oh, maybe that one. Oh, maybe that one. Nope, we keep storming through.
What's so ridiculous about it is that like I'm like, hey, we're in London. Yeah, I'm so excited to go to like one of these London pubs that we have in the US or whatever, that like these little London pubs where whatever. And we get there and it is the most American
Yes,
like
it is.
beer
I was
drinking
like, have you been to a
restaurant I've
microbrewery
ever
before?
been to.
If you're from Texas, have you been to a microbrewery?
Right? They all look like that. Yeah.
Yes, they do. That was very funny, but a great time. Good to meet the community there.
Yeah.
That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun. A lot
And
of fun.
your TikTok is huge too. I did not realize until this morning.
TikTok, I'm pretty famous.
How many followers?
Yeah.
And a very small 350,000 on
Good Lord.
on TikTok. I do a lot of photography and videography tutorials.
Ah, okay.
Okay.
So that's kind of how that I did. I've just like you guys had on the DAT too. I've done the tutorial game. I've done I really it's really fulfilling to get like a lot of people just starting photography, just starting videography, to like even just like this is what negative space is. This is how you should compose your shot. This
Yeah.
is even just what your shutter speed should be. Like just people getting started. It's really cool to see kind of people embracing that and going out and doing their thing. So I have a lot of respect for what you guys do and what the community does because of that. Because I've been on that tutorial grind. It is hard to just keep coming up with tutorials and learning.
Yeah.
But,
Yes, it is.
it makes such a big difference.
Yeah.
Being in London, do you have a favorite Premier League team?
Yep, Spurs fan.
Okay.
Tottenham Hotspur.
All right. I'm a West Ham United guy myself.
Okay. I don't think we have two. They don't like me. I have worn my Spurs
Yeah.
in that Queen Elizabeth Park, and they don't say very nice things. I had to cover it,
Yeah.
because I got a little scared.
Wow.
I'm like,
Smart.
I'm American. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not.
Be careful. They'll
San Antonio
take
Spurs.
advantage of you if you're American. They'll
Spurs.
sell you
Oh, no.
fake tickets, and then you'll get all the way inside and try and scan them, and then be like, "Oh no, these are fake. You took all my pounds and all my American money as well."
I thought this was the San Antonio Spurs.
Yeah,
I'm sorry.
exactly.
I don't know what's going
Yeah,
on.
you just tell them it's San Antonio. You'll be fine. They won't mess with you
it's
too
a
much.
rooster, but like I totally forgot.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Cool. Well, thanks again. We're going to get out of here. Please check us out on Mograph.com, of course.
Yep.
We got Mograph.com/TV. Turn it on, rip the knob off. 24/7 animation channel. You can see this show, which is live on there right now, followed by a bunch of other stuff. I believe if you're watching now, it should automatically flip over, and there's going to be an episode of Frame 1. So make sure you keep watching. Rip the knob off. Check out our TikTok and our Instagram. There's going to be a lot more short form content, clips and things. That's at mograph.com, all spelled out. One word. And again, thanks to Otoy for being our universal sponsor for the Mograph podcast. And we're going to get out of here, though. Until next time, I'm Dave.
And I'm Matt.
Have a good one.
Later, yo.
Pretty good, I guess. Introducing Mograph TV from Mograph.com, a free motion graphics and animation channel streaming your favorite content and favorite artists 24/7. Mograph TV features motion graphics tutorials, talks, tips, inspiration, and replays of popular live shows. We offer something for all levels of designer, from introductory tutorials to high-level breakdowns and everything in between.
That track looks great to me.
Mograph TV features software like Cinema 4D, After Effects, Unreal Engine,
What up?
third-party plugins, and other 2D and 3D software. We also feature live motion events, short-form clips, crypto art, and even a little photo and video editing. Learn from the people that inspire you most, and stay up to date on all the latest industry news, announcements, and community events. You'll also see exclusive offers only available by watching. With 3 8-hour blocks each day, you'll be sure to catch everything, no matter what your time zone. Keep it on as a companion to your workday and learn something new. Meet a friend, watch a demo, catch a classic tutorial, or even find new inspiration.
That's a British word?
A lot of things are British words.
Yes, good luck with all your projects.
Mograph TV, television for the design community, 24/7.